Hello everyone, welcome back to Mzansi True Crime Diva. My name is Diva and today I'm not back with a true crime story. I'm sorry, although technically this is a petty crime story. It is a very personal story. It's an incident that happened to me. I'm going to be telling you all how I lost these teeth right here. It's actually now it's a funny story. Obviously at the time it was just horrible, it was devastating, but now it's a story that I really laugh about a lot. So yeah, I'm not even gonna apologize about the hiatus this time because it's embarrassing at this point. We're just gonna let that slide, but I don't know whether I should add a trigger warning or not to the video, because like I said, it was horrible at the time, but now I kind of find it funny, so I don't know. We begin in 2017. It was the second semester, and I had gotten into the habit of just going to the library every night, and I was coming back home at around 2 in the morning every morning, because things were so hectic academically. So I was kind of used to it. You get what I mean? Like I'd become confident and I didn't care anymore. But what I always did is I left my phone behind and my laptop at home as well. The only thing I took with was the textbook that I needed to summarize, the notepad, and my pencils and my color pens and all of that. That's all I had in my bag. But I do remember the bag that I had was brand new. You could still smell the store in the bag. Do you know what I mean? And then one day I got really confident. Like I took it a step further and I walked at 3 in the morning. Now the path was, okay, from campus, you pass by a garage, okay? Then you'll pass by, it's either you're passing by a complex or a restaurant or a bar or a garage. Do you get what I mean? Like you're just passing by where there are people, whether it's at 2 in the morning, there are still people around. But when I took it that far at 3 in the morning, it basically meant that the bars were closed. So obviously your 24-hour restaurants are still open, the garages are still open, but the bars are closed now. So as I get closer to my place, it's more quiet than usual. So what I'm trying to say is that at 2 it was not as quiet, but at 3, no, it was proper quiet. But I kept moving and I got a bad feeling, I won't lie. I had a really bad gut feeling as I was walking. But I decided to go to, no man, maybe I'm just paranoid, maybe I'm just worrying for nothing, you know what I mean? I remember crossing, as I was crossing Jan Joba streets, that's when the bad feeling started. But I just ignored myself. And then I kept going. I get to Glen Street, the corner of Glen Street. I look, there are 2 guys peeing at the corner, very, very close to me. So there's a wall, this is where I'm walking now. Then there's a wall. So obviously I can't see what's happening here until I'm at the corner. Then I'm seeing, there are guys peeing right here. Already I see that this is bad, but I'm thinking to myself, you know what, let me just calm down, because what's going to happen is they're going to ask me for my things and I'm just going to say, sure, take them. Do you get what I mean? Because like I said, I didn't have a cell phone or anything like that. I wasn't going to fight anyone for my textbooks, even though they were expensive. It's okay, you know what I mean? I'm thinking that's what's going to happen, so I'm not panicking at this point. I keep going. As I go, I can hear what do you call it, shibiriza? What do you call it, shibiriza, friend? What do you say it in English?
Someone dragging their feet.
Exactly, yes. I could hear the person dragging their feet, and I'm thinking to myself, again, this guy is just gonna come. He's gonna ask for my things. I'm gonna give them to him. I'm gonna give them to him, and everything's gonna be fine. Dololo. The guy, actually, it was 2 guys. Well, the guy comes to me, and he's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Hi." Then he's like, "Uhlalapi." I'm gonna just put English translations here. He actually said it in Tswana ibile, so he's like, "Uhlalapi," and I'm like, "Here," and I'm like, "Uhlalapi," and I'm like, "Here." Then suddenly he took his arm, he covered my eyes, and then he tripped me. And then now mind you, I had a bag on my back, a very big bag. And then he tripped me so that I lie on the bag. Now I'm panicking. Now I'm seriously panicking, because if he thought there was a laptop inside the bag, then why would he risk damaging it by making me lie on it? Also, why not just ask? If this is just a mugging, why not just ask? The fact that he has me like lying down at this point, and he's risking damaging the laptop that could have been in there, I'm thinking this guy is not interested in mugging me at all. The only reason why he's making me lie down is because I'm about to get sexually assaulted. So this thought really made me angry. I can't tell you guys how angry I was. I was enraged, like I was ready to fight. The first thing I did was I screamed. Like I screamed at the top of my voice. And that's when he covered my mouth. Before, I don't actually know when the guy came. Somewhere between me screaming, I don't know. So at some point, the second guy came, and that guy was in front of me now. So the other guy was holding me from my back. He was just pinning me down, and then the other guy was in front of me. And I was starting to panic, like for real. I was starting to get really angry, and I screamed, like I said, at the top of at the top of my voice. And yeah, it was just like, it was really getting hectic. And then he covered my mouth. Right? Then when he covered my mouth, we started struggling. Like I was doing this and then trying to scream. And then like he'd obviously move his hand this way. Then I'd move my head this way. And then I'd try to scream, and then he'd move his hand this way. It was like a continuous thing. See, him and I were struggling like that. Then at a certain point, as I was running out of air, because I was trying to scream, like I said, I was trying to scream, but I started running out of air. And I started saying to him, I am going to kill you. I said, I was like, I'm going to kill you. I am actually gonna have to kill you, sir. Like I said, I thought this guy was about to sexually assault me. So I was furious. I was proper angry. And then when I ran out of air and I started giving up, and then his hand was fully covering my mouth at this point. I was so angry, and I decided to bite him. I was like, no, and actually I'm gonna bite this guy's finger off. That's my thoughts at this point. With Yazin, I'm gonna have to bite this guy's finger off, because there's no way you're about to sexually assault me, disappear into thin air, and I won't be able to identify you. Like, you're just gonna go on with your life. Hell no. I'm gonna have to bite your finger off. So I kept biting. Like, I gripped it and I bit. I bit, and then I bit some more, and then I bit some more. Like, I kept increasing the force of my bite, if that makes sense. I kept biting harder and harder, like hoping that I could just rip something off. Oh well, welcome to my dark thoughts. And then I heard something pop. When I heard something pop, I actually thought that I broke his bone. And suddenly my mindset switched. Like, immediately my mindset switched. I'm starting to think to myself, what if this guy gets violent? What if these guys start beating me up? What if he takes out a weapon? What if this gets worse? You know what I mean? And I'm suddenly reminded of the fact that actually I'm just a girl and these are two men. Do you know what I mean? So all that rage, all that willingness to bite fingers off is suddenly gone. I'm suddenly actually scared. I'm actually terrified now. I'm more aware of my reality, if that makes sense. Like, I'm more aware of good, I'm actually the vulnerable one here. I'm not the one who's bound to win this fight. You get what I mean? So yeah, I start getting really, really scared. Then I struggle again. Oh, the other guy, this whole time, he was searching me. But yeah, like, also he was searching in weird places, because it's like, why are you searching my boobs if you're looking for a phone? But anyway, okay, I guess he knows that girls sometimes do that, keep their phones in their boobs, but okay. He was searching, and then I was like, that's when I realized, well, this guy is trying to search for items. He's trying to search me for a phone. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, most people who mug will just ask you, they'll ask you first. But then I end up struggling with him again. We struggle again. And that's when I finally said, it's in my bag. Everything, take whatever you want. It's in my bag. Like, that's when I was actually like, you could tell Luta I changed, hey, from I will kill you Do you understand? From me saying, I am going to kill you too. Please just take whatever you want. It's in my bag. Everything's in my bag. Mind you, there's literally nothing in my bag. There's not a wallet. There's nothing. There's pencils if you want pencils. And there's a book on law of delicts. And some notes on law of delicts as well. If you're bound to mug me for that, then sure. But other than that, there was really nothing. And the bag was new also. But yeah, there was nothing of value in that bag. Then, when the guy finally moved his hand, like he finally heard that I'm actually trying to plead with him, and I'm trying to say, please just take whatever he wants, blah blah blah. He lets go. He puts his hand away, and then they finally start taking my bag. They're taking my bag, and then I'm like, there's an opportunity to scream again. So I tried to scream again, but then the guy put his hand on my mouth again. Then a guy right across. I don't know if I should say his name. What name? We're gonna call him Silo. I don't random, but we're gonna call him Silo. He comes out holding a knife, and he starts chasing them proper, and they start running. That's when I screamed even more, because now I knew that I can properly get the attention of the neighbors without anyone to cover my mouth. Like, I screamed. And yeah, he came out, he's chased them with a knife. I don't really know what happens. According to Silo, they got into a white car, and then they drove away. But I didn't see that part. I didn't see the part where they got into the car. All I remember was panicking, child. Then Silo tells me that I can get inside, whatever. He's like, I must come inside. And I'm looking at him like, I still can't. What man am I going to trust in this life? You know what I mean? I'm feeling a little skeptical. Then he calls in another girl, because he was staying in a commune. So he calls a girl from the commune. He's like, okay, maybe I'll feel more comfortable if a girl like tries to help me out. I get inside. I go to the toilet. I look in the mirror. I don't have a tooth. Yay! So it was this tooth from on this side that was missing. This one was still there, but it was only later on where I realized there was a problem with this tooth. But this tooth on this side was gone. And I was looking at the mirror. I was like, oh, I don't have a tooth. I was panicked. I was a panicking hand. I was like, oh, I don't have a tooth. So people are starting to ask me questions. Like, the girls were waking up from in the commune were also starting to ask me questions like, where were you? Where are you going? Where's home? I was like, I don't have a tooth. Like, whatever question you ask me. So what happened? I don't have a tooth. Like, where do you stay? I don't have a tooth. Like, whatever question they asked me, I kept saying, yay, I do not have a tooth. That's all I could say. It's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time. And then we went out, because obviously I'd caused the neighbors, like when I screamed, the neighbors started coming out. So then we went out. There was also the rapid response that was there. And yeah, it was quite a few people who came out. I knew 2 people who had come out that I saw there, and they tried to help me, but they couldn't really help me. So now there's the task of going back into my commune. The problem is, these guys, they stole my keys, which is weird. They were in my jacket. I don't know why they stole my keys. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, but then I did come up with the theory that maybe they're gonna just play with the the gate remote, and then see where it opens in the street, and they're gonna see that it opens on our commune, and then they have the way in. So I knew how to break into the commune. The police accommodated me to the commune, and then I broke in through the gate, and then I got in fine. But now there was the task of getting into my room. Now I had a friend he's still my friend up until this day, who stayed in the commune, and his keys opened my door, yabo. But of all the nights, he chose that night to break his arm, and so he was at his girlfriend's house. He wasn't in the commune. Yes, and he wasn't there, and I'm so upset. Namanj, I still haven't forgotten. Wow, of all the nights, he chose that night to not be available. He wasn't there. Now the commune mates that had opened for me, you know, when you go with people, but it's not such that I could sleep over in their rooms or anything like that. It was just way too awkward. Also, because I was in a horribly vulnerable state. I was kind of shaky. I was kind of teary. I was bloody. I also had a bit of dirt all over me because they had pinned me down and all that. So Vela was in a horribly vulnerable state. Yeah, I just wasn't. Yeah, so it was just very uncomfortable because me and the other the commune mates that had opened for me, yeah, we were just not cool enough like that. Like, we get along and all, but we just weren't cool enough like that with you. I can sleep over in their rooms or anything like that. But another thing that had happened much earlier that year is that there was a guy who stayed in the house, and then he got kicked out. But when he got kicked out, he broke into his room. He broke the door, yabo. So his room was unlocked and it was empty there. So I was able to actually get into his room. So I had to sleep with just my clothes. Literally nothing to distract me. No, there wasn't a phone or anything like that. There wasn't even a blanket. Like, they didn't even offer me a blanket or anything like that. No, like, do you understand? It was just a matter of, like, I have to get into that room and lie down. Now, I waited for about, I lied there for about an hour. And I was shaking. I remember because it was cold. It was August, which I think is cold, honestly. It was cold. I was shaking. Like, obviously, I was shaking mainly because of the thing that had just happened to me, combined with the weather that's kind of chilly. And yeah, I was just shaking. Like, I was literally just lying on the bed and shaking and like not breathing very well. And oh my gosh, I was in a horrible state. Then I think about an hour later, my friend, now this friend of mine, she became my friend in 2015, so 2 years prior to this, when her and I were roommates. We basically met as roommates and we formed a friendship from there on. Then in 2016, we would have sleepovers every now and again. And then in 2017, we stayed with each other again. So the fact that her and I were roommates before really means, of course, I can sleep in her room. And because I've had sleepovers with her before, it wasn't even a question, even though I did have the courtesies to still ask her, hey, can I please just sleep in your room? It was still just kind of like, duh, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I was welcome to sleep in her room. And then, she opened for me. I slept much better in her bed, like just having the blankets and the warmth, everything. I pretty much fell asleep immediately. Then in the morning, it was just a task of going to the hardware store. I knew my key code off by heart. It was 15 Rand to get my key. And I got my key and I was back in my room. And everything from there on just went smoothly. I actually forgot to mention that before all of this happened, I had such a good day that day. I remember that day, like it was a good day. I had a nice day. I attended my lectures, and then I had my books, my Chimamanda. Like, I had ordered 3 books from Chimamanda. I'd ordered Purple Hibiscus, Americana, and Half of a Yellow Sun, and they all got delivered that day. So I was obviously happy. I had my favorite meal that day, but they've since discontinued it. It's called the Special Vegetarian. It was in Fauzi's, but yeah, it no longer exists, but I used to eat it all the time. It was so, like, literally one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten, and I ate it that day. Also, a very, very good friend of mine had visited me earlier, and by the time I finished studying, when you're done and you're like, oh, I'm definitely gonna kill this paper tomorrow. That's how I was feeling as I was walking back home. That's how I had such a good day until that moment. I was about to have the nicest sleep in the world because it's like, damn, I just had a really, really good day. And you know what I mean? I was about to sleep like Kamnandi, but just a minute away from where I stayed, things had to go bad. So this is my first story time on this channel. And also, this is the first time I ever film a video in one take. I'm so proud. You have no idea. Y'all have no idea. I'm so proud. This is the first story time. Listen, the next time I do a story time, we're going to have to be sitting at 1 million. Okay, 100,000 subscribers, because no ways. I have way too many interesting stories. And I said in the beginning when I started this channel that I don't ever want to tell a personal story, because Me, when I start telling a story, I'll tell the every detail. I'll start telling everything. Next thing you know, you guys know everything about me. We don't want that now. But yes, this is pretty much my experience that I've had with a little bit of petty crime here and there. Let me know what you guys think of the story. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys know that I really do appreciate you guys. The next story will be a crime story. The next story will be about a murder. And yes, it will be a seriously interesting murder story. I'm not going to be telling you guys more about me, get to know me tag or anything like that. Don't worry about it. This was just to fill in the gap because I haven't been filming in a while. I really do appreciate you guys. I really do love you guys. Thank you. We're about to hit 500 subbies, which I think is so cool. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you.